All right, man. Welcome back to another YouTube video, man. I ain't gonna keep y'all long today. Um, just wanted to talk about the CPI data that came out yesterday. Want to talk about, where we are in the market, overall market sentiment. We clearly had a rally in both stocks and crypto. So the markets obviously liked the outcome of the December CPI data. And then we'll get into some inauguration preview, what I think is in store for the markets moving forward. So with that being said, man, let's get right into the content. So this is CNBC. Just a quick blurb related to their reporting on core inflation. So consumer price index increased a seasonally adjusted 0.4% on the month, putting the 12-month inflation rate at 2.9%. The annual number was in line with forecasts. So people, Jerome and the boys, they definitely expected a number in line with 2.9%. So I'm pretty sure Jerome and the boys, they patting themselves on the back. They finally got one right. So I'm sure they'll take this win. Core CPI annual rate was 3.2%, a notch down from the month before and slightly better than the 3.3% outlook. I do believe that core inflation CPI for the November month was 2.7%. So, December finishing at 2.9%. Okay, that makes sense. Inflation rose a little bit there, but it was still well within line of the forecast of the Fed. So I guess you can count that as a win. Moving on, shelter prices, which comprise about 1/3 of the CPI weighting, rose by 0.3%, but we're up 4.6% from a year ago, the smallest one-year gain since January 2022. And like I said, obviously the stock market surged in the futures department, and then of course Treasury yields tumbled after the CPI data for December came out. That makes sense. Stock market futures surging because there's a positive outlook on inflation now, or at least for the time being. So that means people feel more readily able to invest, take on a little bit more risk, which means, what does that mean for Treasury yields? Well, people aren't feeling like they need to be on the defensive when it comes to protecting their money, their assets. So, those protective investment instruments are definitely going to come down a little bit. So definitely makes sense to me. Now, I did have ChatGPT summarize this for me just to make sure I was dotting my I's and crossing my T's. So we'll give this a quick run through. Like I said earlier, the December 2024 Consumer Price Index, or CPI report, indicates that U.S. inflation continues to rise a little bit. And they mentioned with the CPI increasing by 0.4% from November, resulting in a 2.9% year-over-year increase. This aligns with economists' expectations and marks an uptick from November's 2.7% annual rate. So, yeah, like I thought, November was a little bit lower, but December came in a little hotter. Not too much. Indicates inflation is on the rise just a little bit. But again, it was under expectations overall. So core CPI, which excludes volatile food and energy prices, rose by 0.2% month over month and 3.2% year over year, slightly below the forecasted 3.3%. So I'm pretty sure this is where Jerome and them is also looking at a possible win, even though the inflation rate rose from November to December. Food prices and things of that nature came under 3.3%, the forecasted number. Yes, we're at 3.2%, so not too much. I mean, it was a little notch, just a little slightly under expectations. So, I guess you could consider that a win. And then they also say the increase in headline inflation is largely attributed to higher energy costs, with gasoline index rising by 4.4% in December. And yeah, you can actually go outside and see that gas is a little bit more expensive. I believe a couple of days ago it was $2.33 here in Oklahoma. Yesterday when I looked, I believe it was $2.64, $2.70 something. So definitely seeing the uptick in gasoline prices. And then, of course, finishing this out, despite the rise of overall inflation, the deceleration in core inflation suggests that underlying price pressures may be easing. This has led investors to anticipate potential interest rate cuts by the Federal Reserve later in the year, though no immediate changes are expected at the upcoming policy meeting. So we talked about this in a previous video of mine, with inflation on the rise, maybe a little bit, but it's definitely slowed down. I don't know if this necessarily indicates that Jerome and them are going to uh, have any more rate cuts. I don't know if they feel confident enough to implement another rate cut just yet. Maybe if inflation, you know, uh, gets out of hand and starts coming in above expectations versus a notch under, then I could see rate cuts coming. But for the time being, I don't really see any rate cuts coming, especially if, even though we're hovering above the 2% target, it's not crazy yet. It's not too crazy. I mean, for the common person, yeah, it probably is crazy at the gas station, at the grocery store, but just on paper, from a policy standpoint, they may not feel like it's out of hand just yet. So I don't see them implementing another rate cut just yet. So, in summary, the December 2024 CPI report shows that while inflation remains above the Federal Reserve's 2% target, there are signs of moderation in core inflation. This development has influenced market expectations regarding future monetary policy decisions. Yeah, and we don't know what Trump is going to want to do, or what he's going to do, and how that's going to influence monetary policy over at the Fed. So we're going to see, because, for those that don't know, the Fed, they create the monetary policy. So Jerome and his boys, they create monetary policy. The presidency, Congress, all of them, they help create fiscal policy. So those two things together, they definitely play off of each other. They definitely influence each other. So if we expect ourselves to be able to navigate our way out of high inflation, these crazy prices across the board, then the president of the United States, which is going to be Donald Trump, and whoever the Federal Reserve chairman is, whether that remains Jerome Powell or somebody else, they will indeed need to work together, as well as the Treasury Secretary. So, just positive outlook on that. Hopefully we can get some competency in there. Not saying that Jerome and his team are just completely incompetent or anything like that, but I definitely feel like some of the moves have not really made sense. Some of the policy really has not made sense. But we'll see. Who am I? I'm just a regular guy with an opinion. So, moving on. Let's look at where we are within the market. Let me refresh this. This is the fear and greed index. So last time we looked at this in the last video, we were somewhere in the neutral area. Today we are, itching over into the greed. We're not just crazy into the greed side of things, but with yesterday's rally in both stocks and crypto, I mean, it makes sense why we're itching back over into the greed side. Um, the green area right here, these green areas, is extreme greed. We're not in that yet. We're barely in the greed. So we'll see. Just some historical values yesterday. Like I said, we were in a neutral before the reportings came out. Last week, we were more so in the neutral. Now, last month, we were in extreme greed. So we've definitely ticked back more so in balance compared to where we were last month. So we'll just have to continue to see how this overall sentiment index moves with the things that are coming in the coming weeks and months. All right, so moving on. Like I said, man, we saw a crazy uptick, crazy rally in the stocks and crypto market, but we're going to be focusing on crypto. So BTC definitely try to make its way above 100,000. This is the Bitcoin chart on the daily. Not quite over 100,000 anymore. We're in 99, but that can change in a heartbeat if you know how BTC moves. So I'm definitely anticipating a small pump maybe related to Bitcoin, especially with the inauguration coming in on Monday. But I'm still looking for this golden ratio, man. I'm still looking for price to come in this golden ratio. I don't know when. I don't have a crystal ball. Not going to really have any predictions, but I definitely expect with Trump coming in as a pro crypto president for crypto to see higher prices for a little longer. So I'm not surprised at all by the market sentiment. But if you're looking at this from a technical perspective, and I'm not saying I'm right, but just looking at this overall, we're making lower highs. So I definitely expect us to start itching our way to the golden ratio, man, especially on the Bitcoin price. As Bitcoin dominance falls, other altcoin assets, they tend to get some strength, and they start ticking up. So right now I'm seeing Bitcoin make those higher or lower highs right there. Real nice on that trend. EMAs are being respected for the time being, but like I said, don't know when, but I fully expect this golden ratio, this zone right here, to come to fruition. So the bottom of this is looking at 72,000 range. So man, we'll see. I can't predict the future, but that's just my outlook. Moving on, even though Bitcoin is the OG, the godfather of the crypto space, man, I gotta be honest with you. XRP stole the show yesterday. Um, Finally above $3. You know what I'm saying? So XRP is itching its way towards that previous all-time high, potentially a new all-time high in the making. This is a beautiful thing right here. Happy for the XRP community. If you hold XRP or you've been investing in XRP, man, you definitely deserve this. All the BS you've gone through. So pat yourself on the back. Congratulations. Um, with that being said, I do expect us to eventually start making our way down to this golden ratio right here. It's going to have its pump. XRP is going to have its pump, man. Like I said, I fully expect it to reach previous all time high and make a new all time high. But post that, I definitely expect us to revisit these lower levels down here for consolidation purposes or what have you. But don't know when that's going to happen. But that's just my outlook. Yeah, that's really it for the markets. My overall market sentiment, man, like I said, depends on Trump. It definitely depends on Trump. If we can successfully navigate inflation, and we can do that without any type of negative outlook, I definitely foresee the markets doing this thing, man. And that's a good thing. You want more investment. You want to have the ability for people to feel like they can take risks at lower levels, and including like interest rates, things of that nature coming down lower. Hopefully, we'll see though. Anything can happen. Inflation is a tricky thing to navigate, and then of course you have to worry about the market cycle. Technically, we've been in a bull run for a minute. Bitcoin went from 70,000 to over 100,000 in short timing. You're starting to see some altcoins take its way up as well, especially with XRP. So I definitely think that we're 2/3 maybe of the way done with this bull run. Bull runs in crypto don't last long. You're more so in a bear market or chopping sideways for the longer times versus in a bull run when it comes to crypto. So when those bull runs do come, got to make sure you take advantage. Make sure you've been well positioned. While things were in accumulation phase and downward phase, things of that nature. So, Trump can do a lot for the markets, but we just going to see. Policy matters. Nothing has been implemented just yet. He's made a lot of talk about some things that he wants to do. He seems to have some allies, but not everybody's on board with some of those things. So we'll just have to see. With that being said, man, let me know what you think. Hope this video was informative for you. Hope you found this video entertaining in any kind of way. And please let me know what you think in the comments. And always, always, always be sure to like, share, and subscribe. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.